Time to wake up. It's Saturday morning. Find some milk and cereal. Grab a bowl and spoon. No, a bigger spoon. Head to the living room and take a seat on the floor while Joseph and Chris present to you Saturday Morning Cartoon!
Hello everybody, welcome to Saturday Morning Cartoon Boom! This is a show where we wake up with the Saturday morning sun, popped on the floor with a big bowl of sugary cereal, and we'll tell your favorite cartoons, both old and new. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And this morning we watched Hilda! Like, we just watched a person named Hilda as she went about her everyday life.
It got a little weird, to be honest. You know, the cops did get called a few times.
Someone called them.
Someone did. It might not have been Hilda. It might have been me, because I thought it was kind of funny. So I'm saying it was me. And this was suggested to us by both Kavina Afara and Nickelforce via Twitch. So thank you both.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. So the show Hilda ran from, 2018 to current because it's technically still going. Created by Luke Pearson, based on the graphic novel series Hilda by Luke Pearson. Developed by Luke Pearson, Stephanie Simpson, and Kurt Mueller. Produced by Silvergate Media, Mercury Filmworks, No Brow Press, and Atomic Cartoons. So far, it's run for 1 season, 13 episodes on Netflix. And for a short synopsis, Hilda follows the adventure of a fearless blue-haired girl as she travels from her house in the vast magical wilderness full of elves and giants to the bustling city of Trollberg, where she meets new friends and mysterious creatures who are stranger and more dangerous than she ever expected.
Yeah, that's true. I did not know that this was based on a graphic novel, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I feel like I had an inkling at one time, but I actually, I tried to look for it yesterday, and I didn't see it. But then again, I may have just dreamt that I looked for it and didn't actually do it, which is more likely, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably not that hard to find, I wouldn't think.
Probably not. So I'm going to just assume that I actually did not do anything.
You just thought about it, then dreamt about doing it. And
I was
failing.
like, I wonder if that's a thing. And that's as far as it went.
So who are some of the actors who played in this show?
So the voice of Hilda is provided by Bella Ramsey, who also plays the role of Mildred Hubble on the TV show The Worst Witch. And Joseph, she also plays Lyanna Mormont, the giant killer from Bear Island in Game of Thrones. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I know. I saw
she's
that.
Awesome. She's awesome. She's the coolest little girl ever. And if anyone else out there is a little girl, you got to try to be as cool as that little girl. And I don't know if it'll happen.
Slay some giants and voice some cartoons, then we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. Come back after you do that. Her mother, who is just credited as Mum, was voiced by Daisy Haggard. Alfer was voiced by Erasmus Hardiker. And Woodman, voiced by Akko Mitchell. And I got to tell you, Woodman is like, that dude's my spirit animal. I love him. I love that guy.
I figured you like him, especially on the last episode we saw.
Oh my God, yes. He's living his best life, and that's the life I want.
Yeah, he's not concerned with anybody else as much as himself anyway, but he has moments of like real clarity. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll jump into it. Well, so for a few tasty marshmallows out of our big bowl of Hilda cereal, in October 2018, the show was renewed for a second season, which is scheduled to be released in 2020. So that's why I say technically it's still going, but it's going to be a while until anything new comes out. But for the time being, just find it on Netflix and watch all 13 episodes because it's going to be hard not to. The creator, Luke Pearson, also worked as a writer in the Cartoon Network series Adventure Time.
Oh, man, that makes all of the sense. Everything just kind of fell into place now.
It all sort of fits into the same world, like this, Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, and even OK Go, Let's Be Heroes to some degree. OK KO, Let's Be Heroes. Yeah, OK Go is a band. Yeah, OK KO, Let's Be Heroes.
That likes treadmills. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just it's a great renaissance for cartoons right now, just because of all the wonderful shows that are coming out. Even Steven Universe, like it'd be remiss if I didn't mention that one.
Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Oh yes,
like, all this stuff, man. You aren't kidding, dude. It's a good time to be a cartoon.
It's a good time to
we're
be a
not
kid.
cartoons, but yeah.
Or a weird adult who still watches cartoons like us.
Yeah, it's a good time to be.
It's a good time to be a weird adult.
Yeah.
So a mobile game based on the show titled Hilda Creatures was released on the App Store on October 18th, 2018. And the game was developed by British developer Bigumaku. I don't know. An Android version was released on December 6, 2018. So there's an app game out there. Not played it, but it's there.
Oh, I'm kind of interested now. Hilda Creatures, you say? All right.
Yep, Hilda Creatures, yeah. And that's really all I have because, I mean, it's a relatively new show and there's not a lot of like real marshmallows to it yet. It's just in its purest form right now.
Yeah.
So I know you hadn't seen it before, but had you heard about it aside from maybe when it was suggested to us?
Well, I saw it like pop up on Netflix a couple times. I had never watched it until now, but I just saw that it existed.
I mean, I had watched a couple episodes of it. I think like 3, maybe 4 episodes. No, honestly, I think I'd only seen the first 2 episodes because the third one we watched was new to me this time. So yeah, I can fill in the gaps between the first and third episode because I had seen the second one already. But it was such a good show. I wanted to save the rest for when you did watch it for this, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it was really cool. So
let's go ahead and jump into the episodes for today's show. The very first episode, highest rated episode, and finally a random listener chosen episode. Order may vary depending on how these episodes fall chronologically, but of course we have to start with the very first episode, which was The Hidden People, Season 1, Episode 1, or I guess Chapter 1 is how they say it.
Chapter 1.
In this one, Hilda needs to find out who is attempting to evict her from her home. This is a very short synopsis, but it's pretty accurate.
Short and sweet. There was like a little, I don't know, there was like a little thing before the rest of the episode got started, and I think it was just like a little, like 6 or 7 minute short, just, I guess, to just kind of introduce you to the world.
Where she's sketching a troll who's kind of, it's almost like gargoyle-esque in the sense that it turns to stone during the day.
Yeah, she's sitting down, drawing him, and we're seeing some of the world. We see her for the first time. We get introduced to Twig, which is her. Is it called a deer fox or a fox deer? I think fox deer.
Deer fox.
Cutest thing ever, and I want one so bad. It's like a little white fox dog with tiny little antlers, and I love it. I want one for myself.
So adorable.
Joseph, I would murder a child for that.
Wow.
I will murder.
You went there immediately. That wasn't even on the table, and you brought it up.
A child is the only person I know that has one, and I will do anything for it. I want it. I need it.
So you would murder the child to steal their deer fox, is what you're saying.
Yep.
Got it. I want one of those like floaty cat puff things that we see flying through the air.
I just assumed they were bear sperms, is what I wrote down. Flying bear sperms. Because, I mean, that's what they looked like. It was weird. Sperm shaped, fluffy with bear faces.
I thought they were cat faces. Maybe they were bear faces. I don't know.
I think they were bears. I don't know. I don't know what they were, but they were weird. I liked them. I thought they were cool.
They were pretty cool. So what she does is Twig, her deer fox, is kind of nervous about her sitting here drawing this troll because right when it turns nighttime, that's when trouble will start and it'll wake up. And so she puts a bell on its nose so that once it starts moving, she'll hear the bell and know it's time to leave. So, of course, like during this time, like she's sketching for a while and, just kind of doing what you do when you sketch things is just keep going over it and over and over and like correcting things and like, oh, it's not there yet. Just kind of like taking her time. But she takes a little too much time.
Yep. The troll dude wakes up and he's not super happy about this bell tied to his nose, and he gets mad and he chases her for a while and she's all scared and stuff. Runs all the way back home. They thought that they lost it, but it ended up following her home, and when confronting them, they just see the troll's crying, and he's like really trying to get that bell off, and she feels bad because the nose is long. We're talking Pinocchio long nose, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while Twig is pretty like frightened of it, she's just like, no, it's cool. And she goes up and unties it. And he sticks his tongue out and her sketchbook is on his tongue and it's all slimy, and he just kind of gave it back to her. And I was like, oh.
And it's kind of like, I like that it's introed like this because it's even these creatures who are, fearsome and who people generally try to stay away from. can be befriended by Hilda. Like she just has that sort of personality. And I think that resonates throughout the show.
Yeah, and what was kind of fun is I don't know. It's like there's a thing about the show that I really like is even though this is supposed to be a troll, it was like cute looking, and like everything in the show, every design is pretty cute, and the colors are. I don't know. It's just such a well-designed show. There's like a specific color scheme. The music is very particular. And I love the intro song too, which is done by Grimes, and I'm a big Grimes fan, so I was pretty into that. But yeah, I mean the way that the characters talk and interact, even if it's down to just Twig running underneath something and his back feet just doing these little kicks while he's wiggling under something, just there's so much detail added to this just to make it really charming. And
the animation,
like
the animation's the art style is very simplistic, but the animation is much smoother that way. Like, and it just feels right for the art style.
Yeah,
it's simplistic, but also very beautifully done. And the lines sort of have almost like a sketchy feel to them. Like the lines aren't like perfectly smooth when you look at like the characters' outlines. They kind of have like a little bit of grit to them, almost like they were drawn with a pencil or something.
Yeah, it looks like a really zoomed in drawing, like as far as the lines go. And that was just kind of like a little intro to introduce you to the world. And the real bulk of the episode is her and her mom living in their house, which is like almost like a cabin way out in the wilderness. And stuff keeps like messing with them. But one thing I really liked is we get introduced to the Woodman really quickly. And he's kind of creepy looking. Like if you didn't know who he was or what he was, he looks like he would be some sort of creepy monsterish thing. But he just kind of strolls in unannounced and he walks over to the fireplace and starts reading. And they're just like, what? Like, there he is again. Which I love that. And his voice is really funny.
It kind of looks like a creature from Legend of Zelda a little bit.
Exactly. I was thinking almost like because of the eyes and stuff, like I was almost thinking Kirby. But yeah. Like it reminds me of the tree from Kirby a little bit. But yeah, like it's almost like a Deku scrub from Zelda,
right?
That was Kirbified, and I like that design.
Yeah, and so he just comes in to enjoy their fire and read a book unannounced. Like he brings some firewood, so it's like that's him just thinking, okay, I can come in and just go about my business as long as I bring a gift to the house, which is that wood. But he doesn't knock or anything, just walks in. And they're just so used to it by now. They're just like, there's a woodman.
Yeah, they don't explain it at all. He just kind of comes in, does his thing, and they're just like, man, not again. But
he leaves the door open and he's kind of like, it's drafty in here, and has them close it.
Stuff starts happening where they get like this little letter, and I mean it's a tiny letter like the size of your thumbnail, because I guess these hidden people keep complaining about them and wanting to evict them from their house, and Hilda's mom wants to move them out of here to Trollberg, and that's where she grew up, and Hilda just doesn't really want anything about it. They have a little bit of an argument, and Woodman gets up. He's like, I can't read with all these distractions, and leaves. And I just love that. I like how he just kind of was offended. But like things get real. Like stuff gets thrown around the house. Like a rock busts through the window and hits her mom in the head. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they push over the TV, and these are all like invisible little things happening. Like we don't see anything. We'll see like little trail of maybe dust or something behind them as they're running around, but it's these small invisible things that are just trashing the house because they warned them, or they've given them letters that are basically like, please leave, without a whole lot of explanation past that.
Yeah, and it isn't until like Hilda gets really up. I mean, she's just so upset. She wants to stay there. She grew up in this house. She loves it, and she loves the wilderness that surrounds them. So she's like kind of yelling outside to them, you know, like, what did we ever do to you? Like, why can't you just leave us alone? Like, tell us how to fix this so we can get along. And that night, she hears a voice, and basically it's this one of the hidden people, Alfred, comes for a visit and comes to talk, and is basically like, hey, if you want to see us, you have to sign all this paperwork. which was really funny. It's just
Yeah.
these tiny, tiny little stacks of papers. She signs it, and then she's able to see the hidden people, and she sees Alfred, and he's like the size of my pinky, if not smaller. And I like the hidden people's designs because literally they're almost drawn like stick figures. You know, they've got like a head and features and stuff, but like their legs and arms are literally like you would
Just
draw
lines.
a stick figure. Yeah, and they mention it.
Yeah, they keep referring to it like, I don't even have any hands.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's almost kind of meta in that way.
It really is. And he's kind of explaining a little bit about what's going on, about how, they have little houses everywhere. The newly elected prime minister ran on a promise to evict them from their house. And now that he's been elected, now he's got to live up to that, and he's trying to get them kicked out. So like, she's like, okay, well, how do I solve this? And wants to go talk to him, which Alfred takes her to see the prime minister. There's also a really creepy long-necked giant way in the background, and I'm not at that point, I don't know what that's about because he was just there for a split second.
Yeah.
They talk to the prime minister, who has a cat, which is hilarious. This fat cat named Angelina, who he's constantly, while he's talking to her, just holding and cuddling like up against his face. That was cracking me up.
Yeah, so she was threatening to basically take his cat or let it live in her hair forever because it crawled into her hair at one point during the conversation.
Yep.
If this mayor didn't tell her where the prime minister was. So she explains it. And if you notice, like, the cat goes in there very pregnant, and then like when it comes out, it's much thinner. So that's a plot point that comes into play. Yeah, it comes into play in the next episode, which I had watched already.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't catch that at all. That's really cool.
Yeah, because they don't mention it, which is nice. It's just one of those things you just kind of have to notice, but you wouldn't notice if you weren't really looking for it.
Right.
That he tells them where the prime minister is so he can get his cat back and whatever. And so they're heading over there. They run into, like, first they see like a cute rabbit. They're like, oh, that's adorable or whatever. But then
I love that.
Alfred's like, oh no, like the cavalry's here. And so we see these other small elves come up riding these rabbits. And then I think at that point, Twig comes in and sort of like scares them away.
Yeah.
Like not even really doing much. He's just there and they're like, oh my gosh, a deer fox. Hasty retreat.
Yeah, Twig just growls for like a second and they just scatter. It was really good. She finally gets to the prime minister, and I refer to the mayor as the prime minister earlier by accident, but you get to the actual prime minister, and he's just kind of like, listing the reasons to he wants them evicted, like they're too loud at night, so their lights are too bright. Like it's just basic like neighbor annoyance things, which I thought was really funny.
Well, it's also like they're stepping on their houses, and while it doesn't damage them or anything because they were invisible to them if they hadn't signed the forms
and
yet.
Intangible.
Yeah. And intangible, like it was still disturbing to have a big foot come through your house.
Yeah. So, and what do they call them? The big boots or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I don't remember. But basically, it's like, I can't do anything about it. You need to talk to the king about this because it's ultimately his decision. Essentially, like sends them off to the king. Well, not even that. Like basically, like nothing I can do. And she's about ready to give up. And then Alfred is just like, you know what? I will help you. I'll tell you where the king is. I'm not supposed to. It's like against protocol and whatnot. And they're all like the elves are very bureaucratic. Yes. And very much about protocol. So this is very strange for him to be doing this, but he just feels like a connection, and so he's helping her out.
And that was where the episode ends for this one. And I was expecting it to have some sort of resolution there, but I'm like, man, okay, they're trying to suck you in. They want you to keep watching. I see how it is. Netflix.
Yeah. Let me give you a very, very, very brief description of episode 2 so that it can transition into the third episode, which is the one we watched. Which is, okay, so those big giants, we see them, we saw one of them in the last episode.
Yes.
The huge ones. And then in going to see the king, like, I can't remember exactly what the king wants from her, but he's like, I can't do anything because there's these giants walking around and whatever. And so we find out that this giant who is walking around is looking for his like soulmate or his, I guess his partner who he's been looking for like hundreds of years or something. and they were supposed to meet in this area, but that's why he keeps walking around through it, but he can't find her. And so what eventually happens, and I won't go through everything, but what eventually happens is Hilda's able to, find this other giant and reunites them. And for that reason, the king is like, all right, great, you're able to live here with us. I'll sign this treaty and we can have peace. But what happens is, in like the reason that they are living in the city in episode 3 is at the end of that second episode, one of those, the giants are walking off together and they just step right on Hilda's house accidentally and just smash it as they're walking by. Yeah. So they're essentially like, wow, like, okay, we did all this and we made peace, but now the house is destroyed. And then in kind of a selfless way, she's like, we could rebuild and everything, but to the elves, we're these giants and we essentially are disturbing their peace. So maybe it's right for us to go and live in the city instead.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's kind of a really short wrap up of the second episode to lead into this one where they are living in the city now.
Yeah. So then this episode, and this was the one that was suggested by Nickelforce.
The Bird Parade, season 1, episode 3, where Hilda helps a bird that has lost his memory.
That's true.
These are real short descriptions.
I like it though. I like that they're that short. She's been super cooped up in her house out in Trollberg. But Alfred came with her, so that's cool. So she's got a buddy, but like she doesn't want to leave the house. Her mom is getting concerned for her and kind of makes her go outside into Trollberg to try to like meet some other kids her age, make some friends. I thought it was funny how when she steps outside, she immediately just starts coughing like she's dying. And, just because she's like, oh, the air is so foul and just, things like that. And, it was just some exaggerated little thing you would see a little kid do. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, just being dramatic, overly dramatic, and saying how the city's so cold and dull and whatnot. And she's so bored. And it's like she knows they need to be here, but she doesn't want to be here. Yeah. And so she's just been hanging out inside, literally camping inside the house in a tent with Alfred and not going out and meeting anyone new. So mom takes her out, they start going on a walk and just out into the city, and she's trying to get her to meet new kids. And she does, but these are some bad kids, some hooligans.
These kids are brats, man.
Yeah, they're doing the thing where you ring a doorbell and run away.
Yeah,
and
then ding dong ditch.
Yeah, and then
she's bad at it. She's
bad at it in the best way.
Yeah.
She rings this older lady's doorbell and then just waits there. And they're just like, no, you gotta run. And so she can't do it. So the lady comes out and she's like, oh, you have some lovely flowers, and basically makes that woman's day. And I just thought that was so sweet that she turned it around like that. Just because it's not in her personality to just run off.
They find some rocks, and Hilda's all excited because she just likes rocks. And I mean, what kid doesn't? I still have a little bit of a rock collection that I had started when I was a kid. But she sees a cool rock, and the kids are like, "Oh yeah, that's a good rock," and they pick it up and start throwing it at birds. And
yeah,
the one kid knocks a raven out of this tree, and it's kind of, I mean, not so much injured, but it definitely got knocked for a loop, and it's, not flying away and stuff. And Hilda starts yelling at the kids, grabs the raven and walks it back to her house. But the thing is the raven speaks, he says something, and that's kind of the reason Hilda's just like, oh my God, I got to get you out of here. I got to make you safe. And the kid that did it, I think his name was Trevor, thought he heard the bird, but he wasn't sure. And the rest of the episode, if he's involved, it's because he's obsessed with trying to find this bird again to prove that he's not crazy, that it talked because other kids are poking fun at him.
Yeah.
But she squirrels it away back to her home.
And the big dilemma really is that it's kind of lost its memory.
Yes.
So it's a talking raven that's like, who am I? I think I'm important, but I'm not sure. I've forgotten grammar.
Yeah,
I think I love grammar.
I forgot grammar. I love grammar.
I think. Yeah. Maybe.
I think I'm bad with names. I don't know.
And this whole time there's in the background, there's this parade that's being planned to go on in Trollberg. It's a bird parade. And so we can kind of surmise that this raven may be attached to this in some way, but we, of course can't know the degree until it kind of gets there.
Yeah, definitely not. Hilda's mom makes her go out because they're like, we're going to go to the bird parade. You know, it's the thing of this town. And the basis of this parade, I believe, is that it's a parade for like this great bird, this giant bird or something. And it's like flies over the parade and it's supposed to be good luck for the city. You know, if this bird doesn't show up, then the city has bad luck. You know, trust me, there's worse. We have a smelt festival here where people dance around in fish costumes and stuff. Things get weird up here, man. Real weird. But I mean, this is a town that's basically Nordic, like where these people are. So I say that's why I'm gonna blame them. But
they're waiting for this raven. It's not really stated yet, but they're waiting for this raven. And as we kind of guess, like, it's not coming. And so they're like, crops are going to be bad. Like we're going to have like bad luck. It's a bad omen that this bird isn't showing up. And so the townspeople are essentially just waiting there, like into even like the night hours for this raven to fly over, while the whole time Alfur and the raven are kind of going and looking for this statue that it kind of remembers to try to trigger its memory.
The reason that they're out there, too, is because Hilda's mom, when she was taking her out to go to the parade, without Hilda knowing, kicked the bird out of the house.
Oh, that's right.
And because she just thought it was a dirty bird.
Right. And Hilda specifically told the bird like not to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And so it couldn't like talk to mom and explain things because it was listening to her. At the same time, she accidentally kicks Alfur out with it. So that's why they go on their little adventure.
Yeah, Trevor ends up catching them, puts the bird in a cage and is going to bring it to the kids and prove that he's not crazy. And then once Hilda finds out what the festival is about, she surmises that, oh no, this raven might be this great bird, and maybe it is called the Great Raven, that's supposed to fly over this festival and everything. So then her and her mom, I think she kind of convinces her mom what's going on. I'm not sure if her mom 100% believes it, but she goes along with it for sure. And they go looking for it. And eventually, eventually they do find him, but him and his cage get knocked into the water of like a river over this bridge where Trevor is. By accident, and Hilda just jumps in this river to save him, and I was just like, "Oh, what's gonna happen there?" And Hilda's mom's freaking out.
Yeah,
but she frees him, and that's where he changes to his full size because she yells, "You're the Great Raven!"
Yeah, on the way down,
yeah,
as she's falling, she yells that, and that's where he's like, "Oh yeah!" And so he gets huge and is essentially tells her he's a thunderbird, which is awesome. He's like he's kind of like going against the folklore of the town, where it's like, I'm not a great raven. Like, that's not even a thing. Like, they just, the townspeople saw me flying over, like, at some point, and the crops just happened to be good that year. And then I didn't at another season, and the crops were bad. So now they're just kind of blaming that all on whether or not I'm flying over. So basically, as a favor, I fly over every year just to give them that peace of mind.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really cool idea, where it's like it's playing against the actual folklore of it and putting a more realistic spin on it. Even though it's still a flying thunderbird, it's almost like making it more believable in that way.
Yeah, I like that too. The town I grew up in had a lot of Thunderbird kind of myths.
Really? Okay.
In fact, just about everything out there is themed after a very specific one that they named in the area. So I like seeing stuff like that, because I've never watched a show or a cartoon or a movie where Thunderbirds actually came up, aside from that one with the puppets that were called Thunderbirds for no reason, and it had nothing to do with actual Thunderbirds, and they were creepy.
To wrap the episode up a little bit, so the Thunderbird flies over, like everyone's cheering for the Great Raven. Hilda's still riding on its back, and it does its like whole lightning thunder flash thing to impress everybody. He kind of puts her back down back with her mom. Mom takes her over to this wall to watch the parade from that she used to come at when she was a little girl. And this is kind of a sweet moment where she's like, it's not like when we were up on the roof earlier or anything, but this is what I did when I was a kid. And she's like, you know what? It's much better, actually. And so that's when she kind of is accepting city life at least more than she was at the beginning of the episode. And also having sort of a tender moment with her mom, appreciating the fact that she's there with her, regardless of where it is.
Yeah, it was a really sweet moment, especially because they're adjusting to a new life, and it's been stressful for both of them, very obviously. So yeah, that was cool.
So that jumps us into the last episode we watched for today's show, which was The House in the Woods, season 1, episode 11. This was the highest rated episode where, lost in the wilderness, Hilda tries to find her way back to Trollberg with the help of the reluctant woodman. Reluctant woodman is a very good way to put it. He is reluctant to do anything for anybody else.
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, well, and it's his fault in the first place. She's lost. Like, well, I guess technically not, but it's her fault. His fault. It takes so long for her to get back. She does get kind of lost in the woods by accident, but she does stumble across Woodman playing poker with some of the hidden people, which they are elves basically. In this story, the elves are the hidden people. They're very tiny. They're playing poker.
Yeah,
and he, unbeknownst to her, bet her when he ran out of money, and she didn't even notice, but there was also like a forest giant there, but he's so massive, she just didn't even notice. Like all she would be able to see was his toes, and she didn't notice that he was there. And when he was like, yeah, I just lost you to him, and points up to the forest giant, who picks her up and brings her to like this gigantic tree, like real deep in the woods, and puts her in like this little hole. And I feel like he was just like, so do you need me to come back and feed you in a couple months? And she's like, no,
Yeah.
I eat multiple times a day. And he's just like, a little thing like you? No,
I don't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, inside this hole is tons of like treasure, like coins. There's furniture, musical instruments, all kinds of stuff. There's a car. So obviously this is like his little treasure trove of stuff. But I do like the reveal that Woodman did it on purpose and for a very specific reason, and it cracks me up.
Yeah, and we can even jump right there, really, because he comes over and is kind of yelling to her as she's still up in the tree, and like, hey, like, there's a rope ladder of mine in there. Could you just throw that down? And then he climbs up in the tree with her and is like, oh, great. I did this on purpose so I could claim a lot of my old treasure, a lot of my old things that I lost to this giant.
I love that idea that he basically got her on the inside by betting her and losing on purpose so he could get his stuff back. That's awesome.
Before that, they send an email, which in this case is an elf mail. And so it's like, when that goes to like a rabbit, to a bird, to a squirrel, to the house.
Yeah, all being ridden by elves. And that was a fun little sequence too.
Yeah, and then Alfred is just trying to hand it to Mom, who I don't know if she can see him at that point, or at least she can't hear him exactly. So she's kind of like wondering where Hilda is, and he's just trying this whole time to give her this tiny letter. She's not getting it.
Yeah, she keeps dropping stuff on the ground, and it keeps landing on him, like a sweater or a piece of paper or a book or something covering him. I like he finally gets her attention when he falls into her coffee or hot chocolate or whatever she's got. That was pretty good. Basically, he rides on Twig to try to get to the woods to find her and help her get home. In the meantime, the woodman's getting his stuff back. He's got a crown. He's got a guitar. He's got a jar of stuff.
The crown was the best part because Hilda questions him like, you lost that crown too? And he's like, I would prefer not to lie to you. And then just doesn't tell her anything else.
Yeah, I like that.
And then when they fall down,
stuff like that,
and he loses his items, he's just like, "Oh no, my belongings!" Mostly, yeah. He's just full of one-liners that are just perfect.
Yeah, that forest giant came back and found Woodman in there and got mad and keeps calling them sizist, which I thought was pretty funny because this forest giant just thinks he's being picked on because
because he's like
size.
A young forest giant. He's not the gigantic ones like we saw in the previous episodes.
Yeah, he thinks they're being sizist and picking on him because he's a small giant.
Yeah,
even though they're like tiny compared to him. And trying to find a place to hide out, they find this random house in the woods. I mean, me and you know from enjoying horror films, that's usually not a good idea. Like, that's probably the last place you want to go, but
usually
that's where they
too
go.
Good to be true, and this was no exception.
Yeah, no exception. And it was a little eerie. I mean, it wasn't like a scary thing, but there was like a little bit of a sense of eeriness when they're inside. Everything that they could want keeps like appearing, like the kind
Like
of food they
mysteriously
want.
appearing, yeah.
Yeah. The part that I thought was weird is when they're walking through those stairs and there's photos of both of their families just all over the walls, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's creepy.
Yeah, like they're saying like, man, I really wish there was some tea here, and the tea
And then
comes
there's tea.
up, and then like the very
And it's
specific kind that
Woodman's
they're talking
favorite
about.
tea.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was a little weird. The Raven shows up, which is awesome, and finds Alfred and Twig, and so it was cool getting to see him again. And they're all looking for Hilda. I don't know why Raven is. I assume maybe in the episode before this we might know why, but they end up making it to that house too, and turns out they can't get out, and they all get stuck there. The door just does not open for them from the inside. It's like impossible. And even like trying to do something like jumping out a window, climbing up a chimney, you just reappear right in the middle of the living room.
Yeah.
But what's kind of nice is, I mean, it's just like the house isn't trying to do anything malicious. It just wants them to stay. So it's giving them their heart's desire. Like anything they can wish for is appearing out of thin air. But I mean, Hilda just really wants to be home.
They start trying to outwish it, like
Yeah.
all right, just wish for everything like as fast as you can, like trying to overwhelm it, because she saw at one point that like something that she had wished for had started to fade out. So she thought it was like
flickering,
getting weaker. And so she's like, okay, let's just weaken it so we can leave, blah, blah, blah. And so that is their plan. That's their plan of action for a while. And it's just, it's still not working because they're either not wishing for things fast enough, or they're just like, I'm all out of wishes or whatever. And so
yeah,
and they just have this pile of things until finally
that was funny.
Yeah. Until finally Hilda's just like, man, I just wish I was home. Like that's all I really want is a way home. And so sure enough, like this mysterious door appears at Hilda's house, opens up, and like them along with all these like assorted items fall down or fall through it. And her mom's there, and like, whoa, I don't remember that door being there, but okay. It was interesting that like all that they would have had to wish for was to get out of the house, I guess, out loud or something. Or maybe they just had to really feel like that's what they actually wanted. Like it had to be an authentic wish, not like I just want to get out of here. But it was her longing to actually be home that brought this about. And what was interesting was that she was like, wow, I appeared here in Trollberg in this house instead of out in the forest where I thought that I belonged. So maybe this really is my home now.
Yeah. And then like Woodman kind of said something actually pretty profound for him. And it was kind of like along the lines of like, the wilderness will never leave you and something like that. And I think that she asked him to, I don't know, either clarify or say it again. He's just like, repeating myself makes me anxious, and he just walks away.
Yeah, like I wrote down like
dude.
all these last few lines because they were really kind of impactful. Where so he was like, home maybe somewhere else someday. Like it's not always going to be the same place, but it doesn't mean you leave your other homes behind. The wilderness, like you said, will always be a part of who you are, and that's why we're such good friends. And she was like,
yes, that was the part.
She was like, we are, and he's like, repeating myself makes me anxious. So, so he just walks off and is just kind of like stop by next time you're in town and whatever, just walk on in, just like he does. And that was kind of how I closed out the episode. But it was a really sweet note for it to leave on, especially with the Woodman, like you said, being very profound, but not without that kind of backhanded thing going on like he always has. Yeah, the sass.
I love it. The big question that I had through this whole episode is because like Hilda's like missing overnight and everything and into the next day. Why didn't her mom just call the freaking cops, man? Like she's just like, oh, my little girl disappeared. Well, guess I'll just stay here and
I'll just
let me
wait
disconnect
it out.
the phone just in case.
Maybe she just got too used to forest life, so she didn't think about that.
I was like, what the heck? All right. I mean, she's not going to win any Best Mom awards, but dang.
Oh, but she should. She's still a great mom.
Well,
debatable. Well, Chris, looks like it's about time we send our inner kids to Trollberg to see if they can get in on some of that sweet Thunderbird riding action. Then see what they thought of the show, Hilda.
This cartoon was pretty cool because there was all these neat creatures and funny characters. And Hilda's okay, but Woodman is way more my speed. Breaking and entering, gambling, stealing. What's not to like? So I gave this show 4 bowls of Rock Troll cereal out of 5.
This cartoon was full of whimsy, imagination, and a love for nature. While based in a fictional fantasy world, it still retained some strong senses of reality, so much so that it remained incredibly relatable while also capturing my imagination with its more fantastical elements. Hilda's challenge of having to grow up and continue moving forward while also holding on to her sense of dreams and wonder is a crossroad we all eventually face, and I can only hope that I have as much resolve as she does in not letting that side of herself go. Overall, I'd give Hilda 5 big bowls of Woodman Apple Munchies cereal out of 5, and highly recommend this to humans of all ages.
So what about elves? Do you think elves would be able to watch this too? Would they enjoy it? Or do you think
I don't
that
know,
it
Chris,
takes
because I
them
can't
fairly?
see them yet. I haven't signed
you didn't sign the paperwork?
I didn't sign the paperwork.
Oh, no.
I don't have any contacts. I don't know what to do.
That's not good. It's not good.
I feel
I've
so
signed
behind.
the paperwork, but I've been messing with them because I choose to ignore them. So they're very confused. So it's just, we've been having a lot of fun.
So that's who you've been talking to this whole time. Got it. You're not talking to yourself. You're talking to the elves.
That's yep, exactly. Mostly. So do you have any final thoughts on Hilda?
Yeah, like this one, I mean, I just thought it was such a sweet show. And it was so, the humor is more on the British side of things where they talk about, you know, like having a cup of tea or whatever. And it's not so like bouncy all over the place and random like it is in Gravity Falls, I guess. And that's cool because I can appreciate both types of humor. But I think it's one of those that it's a really good show to present to kids because I think there's some really strong messages in there, especially about not letting go of your imaginative, creative side as you grow up. Like you don't have to, just because there are some changes that you need to go through and that might not be as comfortable at first, doesn't necessarily mean they're all bad. And you don't have to let go of your childhood wonder. And I just thought that was a very strong message. So this is one that I would push on really anybody to watch, along the same lines as Steven Universe or Star vs. Forces of Evil, as we were mentioning earlier. Enjoyable show, and I am really glad we watched it.
Yeah, it did have a lot of really good messages, and especially good messages in ways that could really relate to what a young kid could be going through, whether it is moving to a new home or going to a new school or trying to meet new friends, things like that. And I don't know, like the whole thing was just really sweet. It was pretty to look at. The best way I can describe it is kind of how I did earlier. Everything was cute. Everything about it was cute. The look, the feel, the music, the characters, even the color scheme. It was just so well put together, like a storybook, and just had some really, really great stuff to it. Amazing elements. And you know, it wasn't enough for me to really want to keep watching more of it. But I did enjoy the time that I spent with it. And I absolutely would recommend it to everybody else to definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, so thank you, Kavina and Nickelforce, for suggesting it. I had been trying to get Chris to watch it, but he was reluctant.
It's true.
And yeah, now we forced him to, so I appreciate that. Well, listeners, looks like our milk supply is now run dry, so it's time for us to say goodbye. Next week, we'll be watching
The Angry Beavers, suggested by Whippet Devo via Twitch. So we have another one of our friendly Twitch peoples suggesting The Angry Beavers. So thank you so much, Whippet Devo. You can, if you guys want to thank Whippet Devo or Kavina or Nickelforce, join Nerd Sloth on Twitch on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. See, there you go. I plugged your Twitch stream. You can join Devin and Joseph playing the video games and using their controllers and whatever else you call those things.
Video games with their controllers.
What do you play? Fortnite? Is that it?
Oh, God, no.
MS Paint?
Yeah, we play the MS Paint, the Solitaires, the Minesweepers, all the above. All your favorites.
Yeah.
All on one stream.
All on one stream. But yeah, that's really cool. I do remember Angry Beavers from back in the day, so I'm excited to get into that. So thank you, Whippet Devo. Thank you, Kavina. Thank you, Nickelforce. Very much appreciate all of it.
I had never seen Angry Beavers. I knew of it, but I definitely never watched any episodes. So this will be a totally new experience for me. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm excited for you to read the marshmallows on that about the last episode because I know there's a really interesting thing that happened.
Man. See, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I hope that's one we get to watch.
That'll be
though.
fun.
Is that one that's on the list to watch?
I don't know, but if there's not, we'll make sure we watch that one.
Sweet. So thanks, Whippet Diva, for suggesting this. And thanks, Nickelforce Kavina, for suggesting this other one. Thanks to everybody. Love everyone. And once again, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Presented by Nerdsloth.
A place for lazy nerds.
If you like what you heard, consider donating at patreon.com/nerdsloth so we can continue bringing you quality shows. Be sure to also leave us a review and share your favorite episodes and clips on social media. If you're looking for more content, visit us at nerdsloth.com.